Hi guys, Jack Rogers here, and in this video we are going to be talking about a lead gen example that you can implement if you go direct to booking a call. We're going to cover the initial landing page, we're going to cover the book a call page, and we're going to cover the thank you page. And in the next video we are going to be talking about opt-in as well, just so we've got sort of every different type of advertising that you can cover essentially. So in the initial hero section at the start, I would include a snippet of like the number of Google reviews you have or a Trustpilot screenshot, and that's just going to help us build trust and credibility right at the start to reduce that perceived risk. Underneath that section, what I will then do is call out the audience for who this is for, right? Because this gets our audience to pre-qualify and it makes our service or offer seem like it's suitable and personal to them, right? And so in this example, I've got 4 accountants looking to scale. Now, obviously you can build this out in more detail. So you can have like 4 accountants making over 10K a month, or you can also have a look at like disqualifying your audience here. So you can have something like this isn't suitable for accountants making less than £1,000 per month, just as an example. Now, underneath there, you want to have a very strong headline that reiterates your offer, right? So in this example, I've got you're 1 step away. The 1 step away makes it seem like they're very close to getting that desired outcome from filling your pipeline with 100 plus qualified appointments every single month. So we have related our headline to the desired outcome for the user, but also relate it to what they are going to get out of our service. And we do like briefly mention the guarantee, which we then build on in the sub headline, right? So we have a sub headline that supports the guarantee, making it an absolute no-brainer for anybody that qualifies and visits this landing page. So underneath there, I will have a VSL that introduces you and the company, picks up on the pain points and addresses your service as the inferior solution. Now, above the I have like started implementing more and more is just to have a little banner across the top that just says important, watch this video to learn more. And this is because our audience is much more likely to watch a video than they, and in the video, we can go into a little bit more detail. We can show them results. We can show them case studies. We can show how enthusiastic and how educated we are in this space, which you can do in copy, but it is slightly harder. So I want pretty much all of my audience that visits the landing page to watch the VSL rather than clicking, rather than sort of reading the content, right? So we just want to push people into that. Now, underneath there, we have our CTA. And with the CTA, you want to use persuasive language. The amount of pages that I go on to, it's just like book a call, right? How much more persuasive is, yes, I want 100 appointments per month compared to book a call, right? We're reiterating our offer while using persuasive language. And underneath the CTA, we want to reduce risk and build trust, and that's going to increase the click-through rate. So in this example, I've got backed by our guarantee, trusted by 1,876 accountants. Obviously, I have just designed this landing page. All the numbers are like completely irrelevant, but just having something underneath the CTA to reduce risk and build trust will help with those click-through rates. Now, underneath that section, what I would do is get some results in there to build trust and credibility. And what it essentially shows is that this isn't your first rodeo. It shows that you are the credible source in the space and that you can solve a real problem that they are facing. And as you can see in the copy that I've wrote here, just like you, it builds that personal relationship, right? And we're directly talking to our audience. Now, underneath the results, what I then like to do is say who this is for. So what we're doing here is qualifying our audience on a more personal level. And what you can sort of do here is, well, it doesn't matter if you are just starting out as an accountant. It doesn't matter if you make 100K a month. We can help everybody, right? And what you can also do here, if you do have like quite set criteria, is you can disqualify your audience in a little bit more detail, right? And what I would personally do here is really try and dive deeper into the current issues that they face and how we can solve them, right? So if you are just starting out, well, we can give you we can SMS, we can help you set up your ads. But if you're at 100K a month, we can help solely on focusing, we can focus solely on scaling up. So you really want to make sure that you break it down for everybody who you can work with, and then link it back to the desired outcome for that specific audience, because somebody who's just starting out is going to have a completely different desired outcome to somebody who's making 100K a month, right? And then again, we hit it with a strong CTA. Now, underneath that section, what I like to do is break down everything you get. And when you do this, you can link features to the benefit, and when you do dive into the benefits, you want to make sure that you link it to the desired outcome, right? So we'll set you with a CRM so you don't have to spend 20 hours a week ringing leads and getting in contact with them. It's all fully automated, right? Now, to make this the most effective possible, you want to order the points in order of the problems that they face. So just as a very baseline example here is, we will get you the leads, we will teach you how to nurture the leads, and we will give you our SOPs on how to do so. We will then give you proven sales scripts to help you convert those leads, and then we will show you how to increase retention so you keep the clients for longer, and as a result increase your LTV. Now, still unsure, we go into more results to build trust and credibility. Underneath there, I would address why time is of the essence. And this is where you can start creating urgency and scarcity, and essentially get your audience to act now. I do have a separate video on urgency and scarcity, which I will pop a link in the description to this video, which will be worth checking out. Now, underneath there, if I will have a headline that's, if you're still here, then you must be thinking, is this really for me and my business? What we're doing with this headline is actually addressing their thought process, and it shows that we understand our audience. And in the copy, I will just break down any other benefits that we might not have necessarily covered yet. And I will introduce my bonuses at this point as well, just to sort of increase that perceived value. Now, underneath that section, and this is something that you don't have to implement, but it's something that I personally do, and we can explain why. Underneath that section, I will have a PS, and under that PS section, I will just essentially have a really small amount of text that reiterates my offer, right? So something that I had was just like, look, if you're still at this point, if you're anything like me, you likely just scroll through the page without reading any information. So here's just a quick summary. We will get you 100 plus qualified appointments on a month-to-month basis. If we don't get you that, you don't pay. And the reason why I do this is because I don't know about you guys, but if I go onto a landing page, I will just scroll through, right? I will just scroll and I'll just randomly stop at certain points of the site. I won't do it in like the natural process order. And what we're essentially doing is having our offer reiterated towards the bottom, just reiterates like that information for those people who do that. We want to capitalize on everybody in the process, right? And then at the bottom of the page, I will finish with a CTA, but I will also have video testimonials at the bottom as well. Video testimonials are the most effective form of review to get conversions. So as like a very last resort, I will have my like video testimonials like up at the top here if possible, and then I will have a couple more down at the bottom just to increase the perceived chance of them actually going down to click that CTA. So that is the lead page. So let's go through the book a call page. So one thing I always like to do with calls is to actually attach a name to it and show them that we are going to be providing value. So 98% of people prefer to buy directly online, right? Now, obviously for a lot of businesses, this doesn't make sense. We have to get on a call to see if they qualify for our service, but what we want to do, because so many people want to just buy online, we want to make sure that the audience know that we are going to be providing some form of value here. And a guy called, it's a business called Hong Kong Marketing. They're based in Australia. They do this really well, right? So they will say, book a call. We will actually give you an actionable roadmap on the call to improve your results, even if you don't decide to work with us, right? You reduce the perceived risk and increase the value that those calls are going to have. So I always like to attach a name to the call rather than just simply book a call. Now, underneath there, I will have a subheadline that's just essentially reduces the perceived effort of filling out the form. So quickly fill out this tiny survey to reserve your 10x growth call, right? Just reducing that perceived effort. So underneath there, I will have my Calendly form or any other form that you can implement. And I will have a video testimonial above the fold just to show that credibility. Underneath there, I will have a separate headline where I will essentially just reiterate even business name, more success stories, or even more Keith Media success stories. And what we're doing here is showing your name next to the word success stories or more results as you associate your brand with results, right? Now, on this book a call page, I don't have any other information outside of a ton of reviews and testimonials. So as I've sort of got here, you want to include as many reviews and case studies as you possibly can. The only thing you want to make sure that you do is just change the format just to keep it exciting as they scroll. So first point of call for me, I would use real photos of your audience if possible, because this builds more trust and rapport. Effective is if you see somebody who is similar to you win, that's going to improve the resonance and make you more likely to convert, right? Like, for example, if I work with a gym and I see a transformation process of somebody who has a very similar physique to me, to where they are now, I am going to be more likely to convert than just seeing really muscly, jacked guys who went from A to B, right? Because I think, well, it's only going to work for people who are already muscly, right? And it's that same sort of philosophy. Now, as I mentioned, so yeah, use real photos. Got that same thing there. I would always include the customer name as well. And then underneath there, I will highlight the biggest snippet of the testimonial or their results. So as an example, you could have John from business name, how he went from 10 leads a month to 100 leads a month. Or if it's just a snippet of a testimonial, you can just say, oh, this is the best program I've ever signed up for. Now, underneath there, you want to make sure that you essentially use a screenshot of the review, as they're just a bit more trustworthy than just written out reviews. And there's several ways you can do this, right? The first one is going to be take a screenshot from Google. The second one is going to be to take a screenshot from Trustpilot. You can also take a screenshot of like your like one-to-one messages with them, whether that's Slack or whether that's WhatsApp or Discord. You just want to make sure that you use screenshots. Now, on to the thank you page. Now, the thank you page is very basic, but there's something that I do to increase the show-up rate, which is to assign them homework. So we just have a very clear headline that's just your strategy session is booked. Then underneath there, I will have, here is some homework before our call together. And what I would do here is either get them into a community, whether that's like a free school community, whether that's a free Facebook group, or I will get them to private message me on Facebook. And what we're essentially doing here is if we get them into a community, we can hit them with a ton of value, which is going to increase the chance of them showing up. But if we send them to like our Facebook page and get them to message us, the more touch points that we can integrate with our like call reminder sequence, the more chance they're going to have at showing up, right? So if I get them to message me on Facebook, I can have a little bit of a conversation with them. I can start diving into their pain points, what their problems are, which one can influence my call script. But it also means then I can reach out to them on SMS, I can reach out to them on email, and I can also reach out to them on Messenger to increase the chance of them converting. Now, underneath there, you can either have this as a VSL, like if you've got like a community, you can have a VSL on like the engagement, the value posts that you're pumping out, and like what are the tangible benefits of joining this community. It's completely free. You're going to network with like-minded individuals. So even if you don't work with us, you can come here as like a point of truth for valuable information that's all related to your specific problem. Or if you just send people to like a private message on Facebook, for example, you can just have like a Facebook logo or like some form of creative in here. And then again, hit them with a CTA telling them what to do next. So I hope all of that makes sense. Any questions, any concerns, please let me know.